What's up guys, it's John Carden for Pommel Performance Coaching, and today on Strength Weekly we're going to discuss how to train during a pandemic, or how to train at home. And we'll discuss kind of like a couple different ways of doing it, and it's going to depend on what you have at home and what you have available to you. So we'll look at equipment wise, what's the best stuff to get? Well, in my personal opinion, if you're powerlifting, no matter what, you really want ideally to have a power rack and weight plates and a power bar or a bar, and you'd like to have up to at least 60-70% of your maximum. If you can have as much weight as your maximum, that's perfect, and then you can do anything you want in that regard. And then I would say hierarchy for most people, then you're going to want to go, once you get that, a set of dumbbells, adjustable up to 52.5 pounds or what have you, and then bands. And then maybe in your rack or squat stand have a chin-up station. And that's basically all you would need as far as equipment goes, in my opinion. And maybe like bands if you wanted, or some slide boards and stuff like that, just to give you some variation. But that's all you would really need for equipment if you're training more hardcore, and if your budget would allow you to do so, and if like you can find the equipment. So you can probably get a barbell kit up to 300 pounds. I think you can get them for like 700 bucks with like 300 pounds of weight. A crappy Oli bar, which will do you well with the 300 pounds. And I've seen people being able to get racks for like 400 or 500 bucks. And you can get adjustable dumbbells set up to 52 pounds now for the knockoff ones for about 300 bucks. So all in all, it'll be about a $2,000 investment, and then you need the space. So that's ideal situation if you have the money, if you can do it. Now, let's say I don't have the money, I don't have the space. Then you got on the list, dumbbells. Don't just get a dumbbell. If you can, try to find 300 bucks somewhere, use your tax return or whatever you can, and get those adjustable dumbbells that you can buy on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace for about 300 bucks. Get some bands, get a TRX, and get a lot of bands, TRX, and a slide board. Overall, maybe it might cost you 500 bucks total for everything. This will do you almost as good, and if you can, get a weight bench. Just a bench, or make a bench. But if you can't get a bench, you can kind of work around that with like tables and the floor. Get a yoga mat, that way you don't have to be on the floor. But that would be the next ideal situation. Then if you really can't even do that, try to get yourself one kettlebell, some bands, and a slide board. And then if you can get kettlebells, get those. They can be a little bit more versatile from the at-home standpoint, but I still recommend getting the dumbbell set. And then working around with that. And then it really depends on what your goal is. So if you're a power lifter, but you can only really afford the mid-level, which is the dumbbell set, no weights, no bar, or you can afford the bar, you can get the 300 pound set, but you're like a 700 pound squatter, okay, work with what you got. So you'll do conditioning phases, you'll do general preparation, work on your technical aspects, work on all your weak points, do a lot of front squatting, do a lot of pause squatting, do a lot of pause deadlift, do a lot of high reps, do a lot of conditioning work in that regard, do a lot of core, do a lot of volume, do a lot of unilateral work, building up there. If you are a power lifter and you come to get dumbbells, same thing. Shit ton of unilateral work, shit ton of foundational work. Just working on what you can with what you have. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I need to power lift right now and I won't be able to train, I won't be that good. You know what? You could probably get better, depending on what it is you're trying to work on and where your goal is. And then if you're general fitness, I don't want to hear no bullshit excuses. If you can afford to spend money on Uber Eats every night, you can fucking buy a set of dumbbells. I like literally can't take that excuse anymore from people. If you, like, I understand that financially things are rough right now for most people, but like, I think most people, if they really prioritize it, they could stretch for a 300 pound pair of dumbbells. And some bands maybe the next month, and then the month after that the TRX and everything else. Or you can get rings. if you really look around, I know it's not the easiest right now, you can find something. So for general fitness, you don't have to make a huge investment. Even 300, 400 bucks gets you pretty much everything that you would need to stay fit, to build strength. And for a lot of people that might be enough for a very long time. 6 months to a year even, right? Just building up those foundations. Work on the main big movement patterns. So work on a squat variation, a lunge variation, a hinge variation, a pressing variation horizontally and vertically, a pulling variation horizontally and vertically pulling, and then core, so rotational, anti-rotational, front core, anti-flexion, and then some carries, so some conditioning, some holding some heavy weights in your hands. Doing all that and doing that 2 to 3 times a week is going to get you probably all the results you need, and if you're starting at where you're at, then you'll be able to work up. So basically this video is to help educate you on that you can do something even if you feel like you can't do anything. So doing a little bit, doing what's not even like, basically what we're talking about is mimicking what you want as close as you can to the goal with what you have. So for powerlifting, that goes on the hierarchy of needs of what your equipment you have, and then you scale in through that. For general fitness, it's, you know, how much can you afford? How much do you want to spend? How much do you think you'll use? And that's about it. So really, I don't really see what the excuses are for a lot of people saying they don't have a gym. I understand that might mean that the results might not be as aggressive or as fast, but I have so many clients right now that have like maybe a 20-pound dumbbell at home, a skipping rope, and a couple bands, and they're seeing more progress than some clients that have access to everything. And that just comes down to dedication and how badly do you want it and what your why is. So that's another thing I suggest, is like really sit down. If you're not happy with your physical fitness situation or using no gym as an excuse, sit down, make a budget, figure out how much money you need for the equipment that you want, figure out how much money you can afford to put out, find the equipment that you can get, and then build up your home gym. If you don't have the space, then maybe you just stick with the dumbbells, the bands, and the TRX. That will be enough to get you through this and to get you pushing forward into your fitness.